And we welcome you back to the Steve Malzberg Show, as if you didn't know, on this Monday edition. All right, folks, so there is a law that, according to a report by the Center for Women's Policy Studies, 31 states have laws that allow hospitals to keep women alive against their wishes if they're pregnant. Now, there's a case in Texas. A woman named Marilise Munoz, who tragically, she's already a mom. She got up. She was pregnant. She got up before 2 o'clock in the morning to get her son a bottle. She never came back. Her husband found her on the floor, turned blue. They don't know exactly. They think a blood clot went to her lung. It's a terrible, terrible story. But the family wants the life support disconnected, even though she's, I believe, 14 weeks pregnant. And the doctors say, no way. There's a law and a statute, and we can't do it. Now, the family also says that she had been clear about her wishes never to be hooked up to a life support machine, but apparently there's no living will. There's nothing in writing. So joining us now to talk about this is Lyn Paltrow, Executive Director and founder of National Advocates for Pregnant Women. Hi, Lyn. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. You too.
All right. So explain to me why this is problematic to you and your group. Why shouldn't everything be done to save an unborn baby?
Well, I think the question is whether we live in a country where families have the right and the ability to plan for themselves and their children. Lots of people, especially once they have kids, think about, I need a will. I need to make sure things are set up for the future. And what the Texas law is saying is that if women, everybody else can decide what happens if you become unable to express your wishes about what treatment you do and don't want to have, except pregnant, if a woman, from the minute she becomes pregnant, you don't have the right other people have. And having separate and unequal laws for groups of people has never gone very well in this country. And in this case, it's about whether the state can require this family and this woman to go through this experience because somebody decided that upon becoming pregnant, she lost the civil rights. She had to plan out what was going to happen to her and her family. Imagine there are lots of people, there's lots of life that we value, that we all, that there isn't a lot of dispute about either. If there is a rationale for keeping brain-dead people, their bodies mechanically supported so we can promote others' lives, then we should be able to do that so that we can harvest of their organs and their which is not a compare. I'm not comparing it at all. I'm just saying that if we're going to keep people alive for
you are comparing it. You're bringing it up in the context of this discussion, so you are making an analogy.
You're right. I'm making an analogy, but the analogy is between lives. That if we value
but let me first of all, you say first of all in this particular case it's just the word of the family. There's no living will. There's no will at all. There's no nothing. Well, she's always against it ever since her brother was in a similar situation or something, and she's expressed it vehemently. She doesn't want to be. Well, that doesn't hold much legal muster. And when you say she doesn't have a right, everybody has a right to die and be disconnected except pregnant women. Well, yeah, except pregnant women who have a life inside of them, and everything, I believe, should be done to bring that life. Why kill that baby? What did the baby do? And you say because someone decided. No, someone didn't decide. This was passed as a law by elected officials and signed into law by an elected governor. It's not like someone decided to pick on, as you view it, pregnant women. But why would you not? Why? First of all, I can't fathom why a family wouldn't, but that's their business. But why wouldn't the state have an interest in making sure that that poor baby who's in there through no fault of its own, it might die? Why don't they make sure that that baby is born?
Well, that's a very good question. So my question back to you is, if she were one day pregnant, you would feel the same way?
Well, that's ridiculous if I was one day pregnant. You know what? Women get pregnant. Men don't. I mean, that's a biological fact, and I know that the trend today is there are no differences between men and women, but there are. Women have always gotten pregnant, and you know what? If a man had kicked her in the stomach and that fetus, that unborn baby died, he'd be charged most likely with taking 2 lives. If he killed the mother and killed the baby, he'd be charged with taking 2 lives, as has happened many, many times in this country in the past. So we do, in many instances, consider that baby a person. I know that people on the left very often consider even a baby born of a botched abortion not a person. Barack Obama couldn't bring himself to vote in the Illinois State Senate to keep that baby alive and give it all the protections of a regular birth. So I understand that, you know, but this mother did not opt for an abortion. She had it in her. She knew she was pregnant. All intent was most likely she was going to carry it to fruition. So why shouldn't the wishes of the mother in that respect supersede when it comes to a life? It's not like she's going to be permanently on life support another few months, and then they'll have a baby. I don't get it.
I think that's certainly what people hope. I think there's absolutely no way to tell at this point whether the mechanical support and artificial machine support they're using will result in a healthy birth outcome. We don't know that. But one of the questions I have that's interesting is who should pay when keeping the one on life support?
What do you mean, who should pay?
Yeah, who should? You know, I'm not questioning the values. I'm just asking. It's very, very expensive to keep a body supported by mechanical support.
Okay, well, whatever, the hospital, the insurance, whatever. And you know what? If you're going to tell me we all wind up paying, well, we all wind up paying when someone goes into the emergency room and doesn't have insurance.
I just want to know that if they send the bill to the family, what do you suggest the family does?
You know what? I don't know who's going to get the bill, and if the family doesn't want the care and they're forcing the person to take the care, that's an interesting legal question. But you know what? It doesn't matter because we're talking about the life of an unborn, precious little baby. And that's what supersedes everything in my view. But listen, I appreciate you coming on and having this spirited debate, and I hope you have a very happy New Year.
You too.
Thank you. That's Lyn Paltrow, ladies and gentlemen, Executive Director and founder of the National Advocates for Pregnant Women, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. Next hour, John Bolton and Sahar Aziz, Associate Professor of Law at Texas A&M University, talking about the situation in Egypt and the Muslim Brotherhood and our policy towards them, and more on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.